I'm here with Ailyne Swartz, and we're here to talk about community crops and summer gardening. And we're here at an actual community gardening spot. Can you tell me a little bit about this?
Yeah, this is our 46th and Pioneers garden. It's been around for quite a long time. We have a large amount of plots. It's our biggest garden in the city. We have almost 150 plots here. And the way we kind of divvy up the plots is they're in 100 square foot sections, and people apply to our program and then they can get a plot, up to 4 plots. So you could have up to 400 square feet here, and people do take advantage of the larger space.
Okay, so community crops, super cool. How long has it been going for now?
Community Crops has been around since 2003, so we're celebrating our 15th year anniversary this year, which is very exciting. And we have 3 main programs in our organization. I'm an AmeriCorps member with the Community Garden Program, so we oversee and manage 9 community gardens throughout the city. We also have a youth program that has gardens in 8 schools across Lincoln, and we have a farm program that provides a growing farmers training program, and they also do the Veggie Van, which will start on June 7th at Health 360, and they have locally grown, natural, sustainable produce.
So looking forward in June and July, what should kind of an amateur or maybe mature farmer look for when they're starting to plant here?
One of the biggest things, especially in the summer months, is the heat. It gets really hot and you want to make sure that your plants have enough water. And one of the best ways to do that is to mulch your garden. So use things like leaves, grass clippings, even wood chips. It helps retain moisture in the soil and reduces evaporation, so your plants get all the water that they need. And also you can use drip irrigation, which is the most efficient way to get water to your plants as well.
What are some tips you would give to me or give to our viewers who are not as into the gardening, but they want to get started?
If you find any seeds that just really pique your interest, definitely go for it. One of the biggest things, people are afraid to plant different varieties, but just see and try it out and see what happens, see what's acclimated to this climate, and go with what works. If something doesn't come up, that's okay. Invariably, there will be something that will grow, so just go with that.
Is there any plants and crops that grow a little bit better here already?
Yeah, especially in the summer months, things like tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, cucumbers, and zucchinis. It's the perfect time to start planting those now. And you can plant those into June as well. You might just get a little bit of a later harvest, but you won't miss out on your favorite summer vegetables, maybe in August and September.
That's so awesome. And then I've heard this thing that some plants have best friends, if that makes sense, and they grow really well when they're next to each other. Is there any plants that you know that are like that?
Yeah, definitely. There's a famous one, it's called Carrots Love Tomatoes. So they grow really well together. They use a little bit different nutrients, so they're not stealing them from each other. And basil and tomatoes grow really well together as well. And they say that the basil improves the flavor of the tomatoes and other plants that it grows around as well.
That's really cool. What doesn't grow so well here?
In the summer, it's harder to grow things like lettuce. They're definitely cool weather crops. And also herbs like cilantro will go to seed when the weather starts to get warmer. But there are lots of different kinds of greens that you can grow in the summer, like kale will produce more than enough greens for your salads. And cilantro seeds are also known as coriander, so you can still use those in your dishes to flavor your food.
Do you know any types of like soil differences and fertilizer, the tips that we should know?
Yeah, so Nebraska is known for its heavy clay soil, which can be very daunting for a new gardener. But once again, it's very important to mulch your soil because when clay soil is wet, it's a little bit looser. The beneficial organisms can help loosen the soil. So mulching is really important. And also using compost is really crucial as well. It's basically like nature's fertilizer. You just don't want to use too much of it because it can compromise the structure of the soil. So it's better to think about it like you're trying to inoculate the soil. So you can just really sprinkle your compost around, maybe dig it in a little bit and then water it, because all those beneficial bacteria and nutrients that are in the compost will go into the soil, and then the bacteria will proliferate, so you don't have to worry about adding a ton of it because they multiply in the soil, and then they can help improve the soil, break it down, loosen up the clay soil that we have here.
Okay, and I know that this is something that everyone's going to want to know, but how do you deter little critters from getting and eating your crops?
One of the best ways to do that is with different herbs, things like oregano, thyme, and lemon balm that have a strong scent, deter a lot of pests, bugs, and mammals like rabbits as well. And a lot of gardeners swear by marigolds as well because their leaves have a really pungent smell, so they will plant it around tomatoes and other crops that are sensitive to pests to help deter them. And a lot of gardeners here will have the plastic forks with the tines facing outwards to help deter rabbits from eating their young plants.
And then I'm really interested, what kind of crops do you see often grown here that might be a little unusual for kind of like people that think of gardens as like just, you know, tomatoes and cucumbers?
A lot of our gardeners really like to grow okra. It's a very culturally relevant food for a lot of our gardeners from other parts of the world. Something else that I see a lot is borage. People think of that as an herb. It's used for its edible flowers, but you can also eat the leaves, and they have a mild cucumber taste. They're very refreshing, especially on hot days.
What do you suggest for someone with not a lot of space, maybe someone with an apartment that may not have a backyard? What do you suggest for them to do?
One of the easiest things you can do in your apartment is grow herbs. Anything that you harvest the leaf from doesn't require full sun, so you can grow them in a sunny windowsill and use them as you need for cooking. Just snip off a little bit and put them in your dishes. Another really easy thing you can do is to grow microgreens. It doesn't take a lot of time or materials, and I can actually show you real quick.
Awesome.
So just having a tray full of soil. This is just a potting mix that I got at a home improvement store.
Okay.
And all you have to do is just sprinkle your seeds over. It doesn't matter how much or how thick. So those are some parsley seeds, and here's some lettuce seeds as well. These make really good microgreens. So you literally just sprinkle them on the soil, and then take a little homemade watering device like we have here, and just make sure you get the soil a little bit damp. You don't want to get it too wet, but just until it gets a little bit saturated. Can kind of see that nice dark color. And just leave this in a spot with natural sunlight. It doesn't have to be full sun. And in a couple weeks, your plants will be a few inches tall, and then you can just snip them off with scissors and add them to salads, or just eat them by the handful as well.
So cool. And then after you snip them off, they just keep growing, right?
They won't, because it uses all the energy from the seed to make the little sprout. But once you harvest them, you can just sprinkle more seeds on top and keep going.
And this is something you can do year round.
Yeah, absolutely. In the winter, in the summer, any time of year it works.
What a great way to just get fresh greens into your diet at all times, right?
Yeah, and they're really delicious too. They have a really sweet quality because they have all of those nutrients that they're going to be using to grow. So they're nutritious, they taste really good, and it's something you grew yourself.
This is seriously amazing. Like, there's so many different crops here.
Yeah, it's really cool to see the different ways that people grow things, and people should feel free to stop by and check out, see what people are growing, different techniques. Just don't pick anything, because the produce is for the people who grow it, but you can get a lot of inspiration by just coming and walking around.
No kidding. And then for more inspiration, or maybe they want to get a plot, where would you recommend sending our viewers to?
We have applications available online at communitycrops.org. There's also more information about all our other programs we offer. And we do have paper applications available in our office, which is at 1301 South 11th Street on the corner of 11th and B.
Okay, thank you so much again. This is truly amazing, and it really inspires me, and I'm really excited to go out and plant some herbs in my apartment now.
Awesome, thank you so much.